Hey guys, TGKS Productions. So in this video I wanted to talk about basically the new master control terminal that's going to be coming in the new update coming on this Thursday for GT Online, the Diamond Casino Heist on December 12th. Basically in the newswire, Rockstar talked about sort of this, they covered basically what the heist is going to, be about and whatnot, to a certain degree, not going too in-depth, but sort of how you need to sort of start up this heist and, the business or the property you would need. But they also mentioned sort of this master control terminal you're going to be able to sort of, that's going to be utilized to be able to manage your other businesses. And I want to sort of talk about what this may include. I think this, this is a big deal in GT Online because, a lot of, what people still play in GT Online are the businesses. A lot of our event weeks are centered around the businesses. So I think, although this isn't the main theme of the update, I think this is still an important aspect, this master control terminal, and I sort of want to talk about what, this may include, and basically by doing so, I want to talk about what Rockstar sort of already has implemented in the game in the past to sort of allow us to manage our businesses. Specific part of this newswire that talks about this master control terminal, so we get an idea of sort of what we're dealing with here. So basically, if we look at the last big paragraph here, if we look at the last sentence, it states, while the business runs above, so let's talk about sort of the arcade business. It's going to have this the heist in heist facility in the basement. So while the business runs above, down below you can practice hacking keypads or cracking vault doors, store equipment and getaway vehicles, and owners of existing businesses can add a master control terminal to handle all current operations. So this is pretty interesting here because I think this basically allows us to sort of get an idea what we're dealing with. So it says that we're able to sort of handle all of our current operations. So by, the word handle, I'm getting sort of, a sense that we're going to be able to at least, interact with this in some way that is going to let us carry out, different things for our businesses, whether that's sourcing or selling missions, I don't know. I'm assuming this is probably going to be a little bit more than just, something where you can just look at your statistics for your business and that's about it. I'm thinking based off of what it states here that it's going to be a little bit more in-depth than that. Now, as I look back at the businesses and sort of understand how we currently have them working in GT Online, there's two sides of the business, to the businesses in GT Online. You have the sourcing side of businesses and you have the selling side of businesses. It's as simple as that. They're very easy to understand as far as how to run them. Of course, it's a little more complicated than that because you have some difficult sales and whatnot, but as far as how to run them, the understanding part of it is very simple. There's the sourcing side of it, and then there's a selling side of it. And first off, as you'll see here, and as you probably guessed it, I'm going into my terabyte. First, we're going to deal with sort of the sourcing side of it, as that's pretty much how you start up your business. You can't sell anything if you don't have any supplies or cargo in your businesses. And the terabyte really was, this was implemented into GT Online to sort of try to satisfy the management of the sourcing side of all your businesses in GT Online. And I think the terabyte was definitely a step in the right direction. However, I don't think it satisfied all the needs that it should have, and I'm going to, basically explain that. So you have two types of businesses in GT Online, as you're going to see here. You have ones that require cargo, and you have ones that require supplies. First, I want to talk about the ones that require cargo. So the ones that require cargo is basically the air freight cargo or the hangar. You have your special, crate cargo, which is like the, special cargo warehouses, and then you have the vehicle cargo, which is like the import-export or the, the vehicle warehouses. And that's all, managed under CEO, or I guess basically the hangar can technically run as an MC or CEO, but those all require cargo. Now, to be honest, out of those three businesses, as far as cargo is concerned, I really only run, for the most part, out of the terabyte, the special cargo crates. The terabyte is, wonderful as far as, it's superior in the sense as far as running special cargo crates, it's great. This is the best thing you can use, especially like if you're doing a double money in RP week and you're trying to grind out crates. You're obviously going to want to be doing multiple warehouses to sort of eliminate that timer. You're going to want to be using the terabyte. The terabyte is way more efficient. It's way faster. You're going to save time. You don't have to keep going back to your CEO office. You can basically just, finish at a warehouse, spawn your terabyte in your MK2 presser, go right over to your terabyte. It's going to save you a ton of time overall. So definitely worth doing that. Now, as far as the other two businesses are concerned, occasionally I'll use it for vehicle cargo, but to be honest, I don't really grind vehicle cargo that much. I'll do one here and there, considering that there's vehicle cargo is the one business that they do the least amount of bonuses on, which is unfortunate. So I really don't use the terabyte that much for vehicle cargo. Occasionally I will if I'm doing some heavy grinding, but that's like occasionally. I don't use it a lot for vehicle cargo. And as far as air freight cargo is concerned, or the hangar, I really don't even like to use it at all for that. There's a couple reasons, or I should say really a few reasons for that. Number one, basically I love starting the hangar missions, at least the source missions, at the hangar, because number one, all these missions, source missions, are air-based missions. So you're going to want to be using an air vehicle. At the hangar, I have all my vehicles disposable to me. I can easily just go back into my hangar, grab one, or if I want to spawn one in, it's going to spawn right next to me, right outside my hangar. If I start at the terabyte, number one, all my vehicles aren't disposable to me because I'm not at my hangar. Number two, I'm not going to be able to spawn the aircraft right next to me. I believe there's certain workarounds that you can to sort of, I believe there's like a little glitch or something you can do to actually get it to spawn next to you, but overall it's a little bit more inconvenient. That's not even the only reason. The other reason is certain missions, or another reason I should say, there's certain missions that I like to use the aircraft that the mission gives me. For example, with the V-65 Molotov one where you have to take out the cargo planes, I usually, just to sort of keep the mission going in a steady flow, I don't even spawn my own in or go back into my hangar, sort of avoid the loading screen. I just get in the one the mission gives me, I go right to the mission, do it that way. It's way faster. If I start and I get that mission from the terabyte, guess what? That V-65 Molotov is still going to spawn at the hangar, so that doesn't benefit me in any way, shape, or form. On top of that, if I'm grinding the hangar, okay, I'm going to be delivering cargo to my hangar every single time. So there's no reason to get my terabyte back out. I'm going to be already at my hangar to start the next mission. There's not multiple hangars. You only have one hangar. And there's only two locations the hangars are at. And a lot of times your friends will have the same hangar. So if you're switching back between hangars, for the most part, you really don't need the terabyte. I mean, you can use it, but like I said, based off the reasons that I've stated, it's really not that. Doing smuggler run missions, through the terabyte isn't really the greatest. I mean, it can benefit you to a certain degree, but as far as compared to special cargo, it is by no means anywhere near that efficient as a special cargo. So to be honest, out of the cargo, businesses, I really only use it for special cargo. Occasionally for vehicle cargo, that's about it. But it even gets worse from that point. You got now the other type of business you have in GT Online is the ones that require supplies, like the MC businesses and the bunker. Basically, the only thing you can do, basically if you know how those businesses run, you can either buy supplies or source supplies through steal missions. The only thing you're able to do through the terabyte is do steal missions. You can't buy supplies, and that is a huge letdown for grinders, because most grinders at this point in GT Online buy supplies. So that's a huge letdown. You can't. I never use it for the MC businesses or the bunker, because I always buy supplies. So I can't even utilize those businesses through the terabyte due to that reason. I mean, every grinder knows at this point that, if you're grinding, putting in the money for those businesses to buy supplies, sure, you're losing money initially, but you're going to end up making way more cash in the long run by utilizing your other businesses while those supplies are being produced. It's common sense. I mean, it's been proven over and over. I mean, it is more efficient, especially if you're grinding for a while. So again, all in all, to be honest, I'm only really using the terabyte for the special cargo. So, I think that, like I said, there was a lot left out with the terabyte. I think, one, I really wish that they would have let us be able to buy supplies for the for the MC and the bunker. But not only that, I think it would have been nice to let us sort of see the statistics in all our businesses, whether it's all our stats or just like what our current stock level or product level or cargo level is. I think that would be nice. So that's just some things to sort of keep in mind, when we're sort of discussing this, what this master control terminal can include in the new Diamond Casino, Heist, and this new property that we're going to get. Alright, so now that we discussed sort of the sourcing side of businesses, now I want to discuss the selling side, because, once you have your cargo or your product, or I should say your supplies are produced in a product, now it's time to sell. So that's the other side of your businesses. So, sort of to, I guess in a way, what Rockstar implemented to try to manage or centralize the sales for a lot of the businesses in GT Online, pretty much every business with the exception of import-export was the nightclub itself. The nightclub is the legitimate side of the business, obviously running the nightclub, but then you have your nightclub warehouse, which is sort of that, supposed to be that centralized location to where you can manage all your sales for all your businesses. Like I said, with the exception of import export. What's actually interesting is both the terabyte and the nightclub were both implemented in the same update after hours. So Rockstar did try to do a lot in that update to, again, manage a lot of your businesses as far as sourcing and selling is concerned. But again, as far as the sellers are concerned, we have the nightclub. And, in my opinion, I think the nightclub was definitely a great way to, manage your business as far as your sales are concerned. It's very easy. Number one, before I even say what I was about to say, you make the most money off this with the least amount of grinding or least amount of effort, and you make the most as far as pure profit is concerned. You don't have to put anything into this business. Just about every other business you have, you either have to put a lot of time into it, like the crates, which probably the worst business, or I should say, be more specific, the smuggler run crates. Special cargo, you have to put, money in to buy the crates, for bunker supplies or MC supplies, you have to pay to get those. Import export, sure, that's, well, actually, no, I take that back. Even with import export, you have to put in 20 grand to customize the vehicles. So this is pure profit. So I do like what they did with this. I think it would have been, a little bit nicer if maybe you could start other sales for other businesses in, maybe a centralized location as well. I guess with the hangar it might be a little bit more difficult because those are air vehicles. You can't really spawn an air vehicle right in the middle of the, the road. But they definitely, I think, did a good job with this. I like what they did. Like I said, you make a lot of money off of it. It manages them really nicely. And the biggest part, I'd say, or one of the other biggest reasons why we like it, is you only get one vehicle. And they're pretty strong vehicles. They're one of the strongest sale vehicles in the game. And you can easily do these solo. I mean, it is going to be obviously more beneficial if you have, at least one person protecting you. But I've done most of these sales, like over 90% of them by myself. And I've made almost $300 million off my nightclub. So, that's another reason why I really like this. So I definitely I think as far as covering the sales are concerned, Rockstar did a much better job in that sense than they did with the, the sourcing side of things with the terabyte. Alright, so now that we covered basically both sides of the business as far as sourcing and selling, there's two more things I wanted, or really one more thing I wanted to briefly explain that I think, I guess it is sort of two more things I want to briefly explain that I think that the master control terminal should include. I also want to clarify something I just previously stated. When I talked about starting other sales from the nightclub, what I meant by that is you can still run all your other businesses through, those respected businesses. Like, for example, you can still run your bunker through your bunker or your cocaine business through your cocaine business as you're running it through your nightclub as well. I just meant it might have been, nice if you could also started those right at your nightclub, and that's sort of something I'm going to talk about in a minute. But the other thing I think that it should include also is being able to basically buy special cargo crate warehouses as well as buy MC businesses and also the upgrades for those businesses. Because basically in order to do that, as far as your special cargo warehouses are concerned, you have to be in your CEO office on that computer to do it. And as far as your MC businesses are concerned, you have to be on that or your MC Clubhouse computer in order to buy businesses for that. And then as well as the upgrades for those businesses, you also have to be at those respected businesses. So I think that would also be a nice thing, because as far as buying the clubhouse and this, the CEO office and the bunker and the facilities and the nightclubs and the hangars and all those, really the headquarters of the businesses, you can do that on your phone through Maze Bank Foreclosures, or I believe it's Maze Bank Executive or Dynasty Executive for the Maze Bank, or for the CEO warehouses. So you really don't need anything for that. You can just do it through your phone. That's already pretty convenient. But the warehouses and the businesses and whatnot, I definitely think that should also be implemented into this sort of master control terminal. I think that should be considered, for this, for the, in this new update. Alright, so now that we went over everything that Rockstar has implemented so far into GT Online, as far as, allowing us to better manage our businesses, or at least more efficiently manage our businesses, sort of want to make a recap here, or a list of what I hope to see in this new master control terminal. I have them sort of color-coded here. Of course, I don't know, I color-code them sort of most likely to least likely. Of course, I don't know, we didn't receive a lot of information on this, so this list may not be 100% accurate. It may not even include a lot of this, but this is what I'm hoping is sort of implemented into this new master control terminal. So right off the bat here, statistics for businesses. This is something I wish the terabyte would have had, as far as letting us see, what our current crate level is in our special crate warehouses or vehicle cargo, how many vehicles we have in that warehouse, or how much, supplies and product we currently have in our MC businesses. That would be nice. As far as all existing business or statistics, what I mean by that is like, letting us see like, the total amount of earnings we have for that, or our success rates, and how many sales we've done for that business and whatnot. I think that would also be cool. Not as important as I'd say the first two, but still cool. So it would be nice to implement that in. And then as far as if they allow us to start source missions from here, I definitely buying supplies for the bunker and MC businesses. That's an absolute must. That was missed in the Terabyte. Definitely needs implemented into this. If they let us start sales from here, which would be interesting, because this would be like the first time they sort of mix a management for sales and sourcing into one, and I think that's a big part. I think that would really make this master control terminal really efficient. But if they allow us to start sales from here, at least maybe the nightclub sale, maybe a technician has to drive, your nightclub vehicle over to you, and maybe from then you can start the sale there. As far as other businesses, I think, for example, if you were able to start like a cocaine business, that would be kind of nice. If you're able to start from that arcade business. As far as like, business like the hangar and the import-export, there might be a little controversy over that, just because they might not be able to be started from there, because import-export for the higher sales, you need your mechanic and the customization garage. And then as far as, like the hangar, those are air-based, so there might be a little controversy over that. But I still think it'd be cool if you could at least start like a nightclub sale from there. And then probably the least important, but still would be cool, would being able to buy or swap basically your MC businesses, your vehicle warehouses, your special crate warehouses, and also be able to buy upgrades for all your respective businesses. I think that would also be a nice implementation. But anyway, guys, if I left anything out or you have any thoughts or ideas, please leave them in the comments below. But I hope you found this video beneficial, and as always, have a great day.